was all over the place, and he
Yeah.
had the he came back from injury. But Miles was correct. When Micah came back, our defense played totally different.
But you got to
And
remember, we played Washington up there. We beat them, and then we
yeah,
played them here, and they won like with like a few seconds left, and but
yeah,
we didn't. Of course, we would have swept them with Dak.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like like I said, it's a lot of things that we could have said, woulda, coulda, shoulda yesterday. Uh,
Martin Hatchet.
no,
Oh,
that's not no. Shout
Nana.
out.
Hey, Nana. Happy birthday weekend. We had
Every,
a.
yeah.
Hope she had a great one.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it's we would have swept them.
I told Nana she's famous. Everybody, everybody on man. Shout out to my grandmother, y'all. Y'all tell her happy birthday. She's in the comments. But everybody was telling my granny happy birthday on Facebook. I could,
Mm,
I kept scrolling every other picture. Somebody was telling Nana happy birthday. So
mm-hmm.
she's famous. But anyways, so the whole thing with the last year and then being hurt with Dak. When Dak was on the sideline and Dak said we effing suck, they went they had a whole little meeting last year. Once they realized that this was Mike McCarthy's last year, he wasn't getting his contract extended. Once they found out that they went back and got Zeke, and once they found out that they were not doing anything in the offseason, that they were not making any kind of
Well,
acquisitions or anything, the whole
but
team automatically knew what time it was.
the piggyback on that, but the other side of that coin. Here's the thing: even with that plan, if you got Micah for 17 games, Dak 17, Overshawn for 17 games,
Hmm.
who we missing? Diggs for 17 games.
You still be in the NFC Championship game.
You would have been a playoff team.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna say this again because I've been saying this. People, why is there like a jury out on like if the Cowboys are gonna make the playoffs or if they're a good team or not? It's just like, dude, for the last 5 years, their average win percentage is probably like 12-5 or something. It's probably like they're
Yeah,
probably like
it's
10 win team over the last 5 years. I mean,
it's just based on health. If we stay healthy, we have a shot. And so someone down in the chat said 10-7. My
yeah.
prediction is the division winner is going to be 10-7 or 11-6. Because
I,
both the teams play the same schedule.
mhm.
The Eagles, the Commanders, they're not going through this schedule going 12-5 or
Mm-mm.
13-4. It's not going to happen. They play the
Mm-mm.
same teams we play.
And like I said, a big factor in that is the games that we play because those games are toss up games. We if we could easily beat the Eagles and they can easily beat us, and Washington can easily beat the Eagles. So it's not
Hey,
like
and I
it's
got a I got a stat for you. And I read this the other day. I got to start clipping my stuff when I see this stuff and send it to you.
yeah.
The Commanders, were one of the most penalized teams in the league last year. They were like top five, and we saw that with Dan Quinn when he was here. Our defense under Dan Quinn, they made a lot of plays, but they were heavily penalized.
Yeah, remember I showed that stat during the season about how the Washington defense was like not even like remember how the takeaways how we had more takeaways than they did, and it's just
Yeah.
like that's wild. So, but here again, it kind of goes back to my point. What this doesn't mean is this doesn't mean anything when an offense or when a defense performs poorly because if your offense is lighting up the charts, you can still end up in the NFC Championship game because
Yeah.
this is the type of sport to where it's not all on one player. So yeah, you might be the most penalized team in the NFL, but you also might be in the Super Bowl.
So one of the things for me that's going to be this season is, and it goes back to Tom Landry too. One of the things that he always tried to do, he did it a lot. He
Mm.
would try to have his team playing well going into the playoffs. That was his number one mantra to
To
have. So I
peak at the right time.
peak at the right time, and I think that's for me. It's all about the health. If we can just keep everybody healthy and get everybody healthy at the right time, I think what may be different this year is that we can just It doesn't really matter if we're playing at home or on the road. We might be able to just this might be your year. Everybody at some point the clock is just gonna be right twice a day, and so I just got a feeling that that's gonna be the kind of year we're gonna have. We're gonna be a second half team. We're gonna be a better team at the end of the year when you get Diggs and Ravel and some of these other guys. When you get them in the flow,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think we probably had a running back thing resolved by then, which is the theme of your show that you put together. So I just think it's gonna take us not a couple of weeks. It's gonna take us about 6 or 7 games to figure the whole thing out. Now the thing is, during that time period, you can't go 2-5 or 2-6. Then you got problems.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. And this running back thing, if they don't figure it out pretty quick, I just think they will make a move. Now I still don't know who you would trade for. We got to come up with a name later.
Well, like I said, this team is a good team. So like when I be looking at the Cowboys, especially like last year.
Magic Mike, appreciate it. So Magic Mike, I'm a noob, and one of my line brothers is from Kansas City, and he's a Chiefs fan all the way. So shout out to Coach Graham. I got to call Coach Graham.
Okay,
Uh,
and oh yeah, that's who that is right there.
no, that's Magic Mike. He said
Oh,
Kansas City Chiefs in the building. See y'all
oh okay.
Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so Coach Graham, I say, Coach, the Chiefs coming to Dallas on Thanksgiving. I know you going to the game. No, Judge, you know,
Cause
I'm
ground.
what Coach
Yeah.
Coach say he not going to the game. I say, well, it's gonna be one of your chances to see him, but yeah, he's a Kansas City Chiefs fan all the way. But yeah,
Yeah.
so your running back thing,
Hmm.
the running backs that we have, it might take them 6 or 7 weeks to gel.
This
We
is
might we might
crazy.
have the running backs.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we do. I think we got at least one. I think that.
JVB boy, when we
Yeah.
we did multiple mock drafts during that draft, and we took HN in a lot of the drafts. We
Yeah.
took we did mock drafts this year, about 200 of them. We took a back in the second or third round, and we
Every
took one
time.
in the fifth round. So
Every time.
now we did take Jadon Blue, but we took him in the fifth and sixth. But we had another running back in the second or third, pretty much in every draft.
Now, me personally, man, I'm a Hunter Lupke fan. I don't understand what the deal is. Why you just don't be handing him the ball and letting him do what he does, and why you don't let him catch the ball out the backfield? Because to me, if this was my team and I had to go tomorrow and I couldn't do anything else, I would have Javonte Williams, I would have Jaden Blue, and I would have Hunter Lupke. That's who my running backs would be,
And look,
and
you can catch it out of the backfield too.
they would be playing and they would be doing good jobs. And we know that Hunter Luke can block very well because he played pretty much tight end,
Hmm.
and he's a fullback, and
Right.
he is. You know how like some running backs, like Emmett, some running backs they just know how not. They just know how to maneuver. They just know how not to get hit, or they know how to fall right, or they just know how to evade tackles by just doing something so simple.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
I watched the NFC Championship game today for 1993. You know who was like just smoking people out of the backfield, catching the ball and running? Daryl
Dale
Johnston.
Johnson.
He was just, and he wasn't running around nobody, but he was doing exactly what you're saying. He was just getting open. He scored a touchdown, um, too. Um, and by the way, he wasn't touched, but they used him. See, the answer to your question, big
Big
time
time.
show. Good to see you, Noop. So I get the reason they didn't use Hunter Lipke. I got 2 words for you, Mike McCarthy. That's why they didn't use him.
Such a hater. And Hunter Lupke, he is star status to me. I feel like he can get that. I feel like he can do some things. I was watching. I remember when he first came out. When I was watching his highlight film, because he was a tailback in college. He wasn't a fullback, and
Yeah,
he was very dynamic. And he can catch the ball at the back. Do you know every time this man touches the ball on last season and the year before, it'd be a dynamic play
yeah.
to some degree. Like he'll make a catch that you don't see fullbacks making. You know what I mean? Or he'll do something. He had the one fumble against Miami, and that was they act like that was just the end of the world. When Tony Pollard, the play before that, could have just ducked his head down and not fail at the one.
Yep.
And so, man, it's just Hunter Lukey. We got good players on this team that need to be utilized correctly. And being that they don't have sponsors anymore, and we don't have to deal with the politics like McCarthy not liking and like Jerry, politicking with Zeke when you got, Rico back here, and they could have kept Rico, by the way, and paid him whatever he's getting paid now, and you'd have your answer at running back because if he was here and Jaden Blue was here and Hunter Lukey was here,
Yep.
we would be all right. And so
They fell out with Rico and the agent because of the way they did Rico earlier in the year. They basically he was a healthy scratch.
and
But
and and that was, but that's what I was saying about them politicking. Well,
mhm,
Jerry and Steven politicking with him and playing Zeke over him when there was absolutely no reason to do that. And so you don't have any of that anymore because Shotty, these are not these guys as sponsors. These guys are in here, Clayton Adams and them. They in here looking at talent. They not looking at, oh, I drafted you. They looking at this is what you do good. And Shotty keeps saying this. Now everybody got underwear Olympics, but Shotty keeps saying this. I want to use my players for what they're good at. We gonna
mhm,
see, Shotty, because we know what players are good at what, and we know
yeah.
that they're not being utilized in the proper way. It's just like Cavante Turpin. I'm telling y'all, Cavante Turpin is gonna be our third receiver.
And we didn't talk about Turpin, so we kind of coming down to the end of the show at some point here, but we didn't talk about Turpin. So the last time we was on,
Mm-hmm.
we had made some comments about Turpin. Now, what we found out allegedly he was speeding. He was going 100 miles an hour. So that's when we was on last time, we said he wasn't speeding. He was, and then we know about the other issues. But I said all that to say this: it should just be a fine. That's what he should get. And we saw the thing with Quinshawn Judkins over the weekend. That was a pretty crazy story. So thank
Mm-hmm.
God that Cavante, obviously you driving 100 miles an hour after the Henry Ruggs thing.
Mm-hmm.
That just should not be happening. Now, man, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the last time I was in a car. No, when you're going 85, that's pretty fast.
Well, like, and I was saying this too. We're not talking about a normal car. When
What
you
was
in
he
a,
driving?
I know it wasn't a normal car. When you in a Corvette or you in a Camaro or
A
whatever you in,
Charger?
yeah, if you in a Charger and a Hellcat and you going 120 miles an hour, it feel like you going 60. You know what I'm saying? Like when you in a Corvette and you going 100 miles an hour, it do not feel like you go. It's just like the Infinity.